USA soccer star. What do you miss most about it?
Actually, it's the people. Being in the environment of such badass women, you know, it's like being around those women every day. You're just held to different standards. You're your best self. You're your fittest self. I miss my body a little bit. You know, I think that yeah, of course, retirement.
You let yourself go? Is that what happened?
Well, I think that my body needed the recovery, so I took about 1.5 years off of doing anything physical.
Yeah.
Now I'm a runner, and I hate every step of it. Like most people. I like having had run.
So when you're done after running a few miles, you like that feeling?
Yes, of course. I think that it's indicative too of this. The reason why I wanted to write this book is because since retiring, I felt alone. I felt lonely. I travel still a lot, but I'm not with my friends. I'm not with my teammates. And the whole idea of working out by yourself, like, I wonder why it was it feels like such a chore. Why do I hate it so much? I used to be literally a professional athlete. People used to pay me money to work out. And now I suffer silently by myself. And so that's why I wanted to write this book is, you know, life is meant to be shared, both the suffering and the joys.
Now, a full introduction, you can get a copy of Abby's new book, Wolfpack, How to Come Together, Unleash Our Power, and Change the Game, online or wherever books are sold. What's the reaction you get from women, girls?
Well, I think that this book, it's getting such a positive reaction because it's giving women language to feelings that we've had about the world that we've lived in and our experience in the world for a long time. You know, I talk about rules, certain ways that we've lived, these old rules, and then I kind of offer new ideas and new rules for women to use and put into their everyday life. Because even as a women's national team player, I understand from the outside looking in, it's like, oh, well, I can't do that. I'm not you. But here's the deal. This book is for every woman everywhere. And also, I have an invitation at the beginning of the book for men. I want men to be included because really equality, you know, people use the word feminism and really feminism means just equality for both men and women. And this is my attempt to try to close that gap.
What I liked from a parent perspective is to understand my girls, my daughters. And while it might not apply to me, but it's also if you're a parent and you have children who are younger, to understand what they may need that you do not know. And that's what I thought was beneficial because you've lived this life. You've had these doubts. You had your ups and downs. And to be able to have your perspective can only benefit me as a parent. So that's the way I was looking at the book, reading the book.
Well, I think that one of the more important moments of my life is I found myself on the ESPY stage, you know, me, Kobe, and Payton, all three of us, we were getting the same award, this Icon Award. And I remember just feeling so grateful standing on that stage, a feeling and an emotion many women are made to feel, and that feeling is the only one that we're allowed to feel. When I walked off stage, it was me, Kobe, and Payton. I realized like this anger kind of started to rise in me, and jealousy and envy in some ways, because all three of us were walking into very different retirements. And I think that we can all understand exactly what that means, right? They were walking, their hustling days were over, mine were just beginning. I had to like literally recreate myself and figure out what the hell I wanted to do for the rest of my life so that I can pay my mortgage, right? Not so, you know, and I'm friends with Kobe and Payton. I think that they deserved every cent, but so do I think that the women's national team, the current team, they deserve more than what they're getting.
Okay, and they're fighting for equal pay right now. Why is that an issue considering how successful they are? They're must-see TV, the men aren't. They don't even make it.
Well, the big argument that the men that happens is that a lot of people think that the men's team brings in more money, so of course they deserve more money. Well, in 2015, the women's team brought in $6.6 million, and the men's team brought in only $2 million. So there goes that argument. Yeah. Like, we need to move past this. And then, of course, we talk about this just being a discrimination case, which is true. We haven't even actually talked about the women's team being the team that wins championships, right? Like, and I don't want to like harp on and like rag on these guys, but they've never placed in the top 3 of a world championship. And our women's team wins Olympic gold medals and wins World Cup championships. So when you're comparing all of these things, we aren't asking U.S. soccer, the women aren't asking U.S. soccer to be paid more than the men. We just want equal treatment, because what equal treatment and equal pay means for the women is respect. And what that respect means is a future of freedom. And that's what they're working towards. And I'm really proud of them for it.
Why is it that whenever somebody's successful, a female, we always want to compare how would she do against men? Always. Like Serena. Great, but how would she do again?
Right.
You know, a basketball player, you had it. Like, oh, yeah, they're good, but, you know, could they even get on the pitch with us? Why do we do that? Is that a subtle way, a not so subtle way of demeaning what they're doing?
Yes, absolutely it is. It's for sure a subtle way of demeaning. But, like, you have to understand, women have been operating like this with all of these subtle messages of feeling less than, of, you know, like think about what you say to your son. Like if he throws a ball or he runs, like you're running like a girl. Like really, like think about the messaging that you're giving your son about what it means to be a girl and how he's trying to drive as far away from being like a girl because of that one comment. Yeah. We have to be really specific about what we're saying and the messages that we're trying to teach our children, both girls and boys, because toxic masculinity is a learned thing. And I feel like because we try to compare ourselves, which is so stupid. Like, why do we even need to compare Serena Williams to a male tennis player? Like, she's like the best athlete of all time. Like, she's the most winning athlete of all time. Like, she's the best, period. She happens to be a woman. Like, it doesn't matter if she would do well against the boys or the guys or not. Like, she's just badass by being Serena, period.
Well, it's like you. That's why when I introduced you, you're the best soccer player in U.S. history. It's not the best female soccer player. You're the best soccer player of all time.
Thank you. And I would say that there are many women. You know, there's Mia Hamm and Alex Morgan now. So many women that came before me. And, you know, I want to give shout outs to the guys because they have also been a part of the growth of the game in this country. I want them to be successful, and I want our men's national team to win World Cups and to do really well. You know, and Landon Donovan and Clint Dempsey and these guys really grew the game here in the United States, which you're seeing the positive effect. You're seeing MLS teams and the valuations of those teams going through the roof. You know, and Mia Hamm, she's a minority owner of the LAFC team, which is just a dream come true for women. There are not enough women sports franchise owners in the world. So I'm proud of her for the role she's taking, and obviously she was a fantastic player herself.
Do you miss kicking ass?
I miss competing. I miss competing in a way that my body was meant to move, in a way that I had trained my body to move for so many years. I mean, think about it. Like, you spend 3 hours every day sitting in that chair talking. I don't know how the hell you do it. And you are an expert at what you do. So it comes natural and it feels comfortable. Well, the last 3 years, all I've been doing is things that don't come naturally to me. So I feel like I've been a fish out of water in some ways in this transition from playing to not playing, trying to figure out what I want to do with the rest of my life. And I also just miss like really pushing myself, physically speaking, because I'm pushing myself in many different ways now, but physically pushing myself. And of course, like the bonus that it makes your body look much better than it looks now.
Now, you were described as probably the class clown in high school. Were you a class clown?
Well, I think I was a class clown that wasn't funny. Interestingly enough, I'm not like a jokey, like I like making jokes. I like laughing, but I don't think that like I'm overarchingly hysterical.
Well, how do you become a clown if you don't?
I just am always trying to have fun and, you know, do the thing that not many people would be doing to spark joy. I think that, you know, not to steal Marie Kondo's like sparking joy philosophy here, but I always want people to have a good time. So yeah.
And then a few other things here. So are you still a Dave Matthews fan?
Big time. Yeah. And, you know, I went to Dave Matthews.
Can you sing?
No. And I will not even try. So don't ask.
Can you sing some Dave Matthews for us?
No.
Oh, okay.
Crash Into Me, Crush. I mean, I loved going to his concerts. There was always a concert in upstate New York.
Have you met him?
I actually did meet him one time with my then boyfriend. This is how long ago it was. Times, they haven't changed. And we met him. I was backstage and he kissed me on the cheek. And I remember I told my boyfriend that you are not allowed to kiss me anywhere tonight, you know, and little did I know then that there were many other reasons for that.
When did you come to that realization, and how's that conversation with your mom? And I think we've discussed this before.
Yeah, I think that I was in my teenage years when I started to realize that I was trending in a different way. My attractions were in different places than the stereotypical kid in the world. And, you know, I think that my relationship with my mom is far better than it ever used to be. For a long time, I just needed her to accept me. I needed her to say, I love you because you're gay, Abby. And the truth is all I'm wanting is her acceptance. And that's actually all she's wanting from me too. So I've had this like existential like understanding and a deep healing that's been going on over the last couple of years because I've let go of needing her acceptance and just am offering her full acceptance for her belief systems. Because look, we both want the same thing from each other, but because she was brought up and raised in a totally different time with totally different values and totally different perspectives, like, can she come and maybe meet me halfway? For sure. But like, I'm not going to bank the rest of my life on whether my mom accepts me or my sexuality or not. Like, I'm happy. Like, she's not a part of the sexual component in my relationship and my marriage. Like, we're all good here.
And that's hard though when you get to the point where you don't need your parents' acceptance. Like and I don't know if it means, okay, I've gotten to this level of maturity, or you know, now I can step away. And I guess you send a message to your mom to say, you raised me well. I don't need that acceptance. I am firm on my own.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing, though, to come to that realization. Like, wow, man, I'm grown up.
It's a little terrifying, for sure. And I also think that that's like a parent's dream, right? Like, that's where I hope my kids will get to one day is like, hey, thank you for all the life lessons. Like, I've got it from here, and I'm good.
How are you as a parent?
I think I'm a really good parent, actually. I didn't know how good I would be. I didn't know, and my kids might have totally different answers. But I was actually just reading this thing this morning that we parent our kids in the ways that will heal the traumas of our childhood. So my youngest child, she's quite a lot like me in her spirit. And so I sometimes notice myself because she shows me parts of who I am that I might not necessarily, you know, things like just being defiant and just like doing what she wants. That's not easy to be the parent of a child like this, right? So I'm trying to offer her a different view, a different vantage point than I was offered. Not because I turned out wrong. Like, I feel like I feel like my parents did the very best that they could, and I really appreciate that. But I think that it's important that we don't try to parent our children to become little versions of ourselves. Like, it's our job to kind of be the bumpers for our children so that they don't crash into walls all the time.
Have they watched your videos?
They do. Now they're on to Alex Morgan, so like I'm completely irrelevant. Like, all parents become irrelevant, and my access to the national team, my younger daughters, they play soccer, so they think that my access to Alex Morgan, you know, she came over to my house a couple of months ago, and I rose to the top of
Mom's cool.
Yeah, mom's cool for tonight. And then, you know, the next day happened and I was just back to normal.
The book is Wolfpack, and it's How to Come Together, Unleash Our Power, and Change the Game. It's always great to see you. I love our conversations.
Same.
And I wish you the best in parenting and finding whatever's next for you.
Same for you.
And getting your body back to
I still
where
can't
it
believe
needs to be.
you are still talking, and you do this every day.
I know.
It's amazing.
But as I told,
I hope they pay you based on how much you talk.
Oh,
I hope they pay you well.
This is a volunteer service. This is what I do. But as I told you, when I get home, I don't speak, and my wife thinks I'm a great listener because I just don't want to talk, and I just say, "Go ahead, honey, I'm listening."
You have the perfect job for creating the right kind of marriage dynamic.
Yeah, that's what it is. I knew this job was going to come in handy.
Good job.
Great to see you.
You
Thank
too.
you, Abby.
Thanks for having me.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.